What up, guys? It's Total Wars Master here, back for another Napoleon Total War video. Back here on grassy flatlands. 4 lights, 0 art. And here we have my army, and a fairly typical setup for me, against my opponent, who is divided into two different detachments. Polish Legion, Polish Legion, Polish Legion, Polish Legion, and Young Guard over here, along with 2 chasseurs à cheval and chasseurs in front. I would really prefer Voltigeurs if it was my build. I find chasseurs to be just worse. On the other side, he has 2 chasseurs à cheval, 2 chasseurs, and Swiss. No old guard, which is weird because that's pretty much what France is best for. So if we compare our 2 armies, he has more elites, although I do have a old guard. He has more light infantrymen, but I have Voltigeurs, and I do believe Voltigeurs are better. I have more cavalry, although less shooter cavalry than him. And really, I'm going to be trying to get him in a position where this flank pins him, and I can use cavalry to swoop in wide over here. But I'm also taking note that because he is divided very heavily, I do have the ability to push over here if it is more advantageous for me. There's nothing that locks me into which side I attack, whether it be moving in here or moving in here. I have light infantry screening both sides, so that he cannot get a surefire range advantage. I do have cavalry over here. He has his cavalry, one here, most everything here, of which he moves more in this direction, which gives me a cavalry advantage over here, which is always helpful. As well as I'm moving to push his flank, I'm sending lancers over there, etc., etc. I'm going to try and apply as much pressure as I can. But I want to make sure I time it right, because timing is extremely important for this, especially when you have a bunch of cavalry like me. Timing's everything. You screw up the timing and it doesn't matter anymore. But I do have more infantry than him over here. I have an old guard over here, as well as with my cavalry here facing his cavalry, 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 cavalry. I do have a cavalry advantage overall. Although from here it looks like he's moving up his men, trying to get back towards a single coherent line, of which right now I'm going to send my men over here and begin to prepare to apply pressure, avoiding the chasseurs, and able to use my lancers over here. My cavalry advantage needs to be applied everywhere I have it. I'm sending in my cavalry here. I'm also trying to shoot his cavalry here, which is working well for me. His chasseurs à cheval break stupendously. My old guard here definitely helping with that, and his also break here. Huge win for me right there. And I'm able to try and force squares now, because he has nothing that can really stop me. Over here, I'm getting a wide flank, so now I'll be able to bear down with that weight along with my cavalry. Really, right here, when he has this advantage in line, he should be throwing himself at here, trying to break through, because of how wide this flanking maneuver is, but he's not really doing that. Now I'm just trying to keep him in square. I'm able to move up my infantry, which all helps to set me in an absolutely great position. I'm able to break his Swiss. I'm able to bring in my cavalry against this young guard over here, allowing me to kill a quarter of it. And once again, right here, he sits idle. Get this moving a little bit faster. In terms of my light infantry, broadly I am losing that fight. in terms of numbers, but that doesn't really matter. I have much more superiority in arms anymore on both sides. I'm able to break the chasseurs à cheval of his.
Our men are running, sir.
I'm able to force him in the square with this young guard. And pour absolutely glorious gunfire in. And he charges for melee for some reason. But realistically, now I'm just bearing weight down. I'm able to get my cavalry into the backs of his men as he's not paying attention. My lancers are able to make sure that unit routes.
Sir.
And realistically, this is where his lines have collapsed. Because even though he's winning over here now, I have all of these men that can be brought. And realistically, he has to square, and he quits. So that's going to be it for this video, guys. Remember, it's all about maneuvering. Don't get too caught up having to think you have to break up your men too much. And remember, always use your cavalry. That's going to be it for this video, guys. Thanks for coming here. And right there, we see the cavalry devastation. Total Wars Master, out.